Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today we are breaking down one of the best fighter builds in Dragons Dogma 2, which includes the best weapons, gear, augments, and skills to use. This vocation provides a well-rounded experience thanks to its exceptional offensive and defensive capabilities. In most situations, the fighter acts as a tank for the team to help pull aggro and open up opportunities for party members. However, this fighter build is designed with offense in mind. Thanks to some powerful skills, you'll have the ability to strike your foes from range, eliminate flying enemies, destroy weak points with ease, and unleash a powerful counterattack capable of knocking down even the toughest enemies in the game. As one of the most flexible of melee classes, the fighter vocation is very beginner friendly, but to really make this class stand out and feel powerful, your timing and stamina control needs to be in check. Some of your most powerful abilities, like Gouging Skewer for example, can be very detrimental to your foes when you focus on timing and precision. This principle also applies to your Vengeful Slash skill, which parries enemy attacks and unleashes a powerful slash with great AoE to help you kill multiple enemies at once. The main strength of the fighter vocation is its versatility. Fighters can deal slash damage with their swords, strike damage with their shields. Fighters can also parry attacks by perfectly timing their blocks, and can also destroy enemies with their offensive skills with the right timing and precision. Real quick, guys, I wanted to briefly talk about today's sponsor, BenQ. Today, we're highlighting the EX2710Q Mobius monitor, which offers a 27-inch display, 165 Hz with a 1 millisecond response time. By enhancing color vibrance and visual depths, Mobius monitors can adapt to your gaming preferences and adjust colors on the fly with Light Tuner. Dragons Dogma 2 is the perfect game to play on this display because it lets you appreciate all of the vivid colors that go into Capcom games. This monitor also provides HDRI, fine-tuned by BenQ color experts, which auto-optimizes color tone and detail. It improves contrast through color saturation and by auto-adapting to ambient light for a unique Mobius gaming experience. If you're in the market for a monitor, BenQ is your best choice. Check out the link in the description below for more information. A couple things to keep in mind when you're building your fighter is height and weight, which actually directly affects the way your fighter is going to perform in and outside of combat. Larger characters have an increased carrying capacity and can hold more items in their inventory. As a fighter, it's really in your best interest to make them taller and heavier so you can carry more items during your adventures without having to worry about a heavy equipment load. As a tall fighter, your stamina regen will be slower, but your running speed will be slightly faster, and your reach will also be extended, which can be extremely useful during combat. The good thing is you can actually compensate for the stamina recovery speed loss by equipping the Ring of Quickening, which boosts your stamina recovery speed. Making your fighter stronger and heavier means you can carry more healing items, camping kits, and heavier armor without having to worry about exceeding an average equipment load. The first skill I'm using on this build is Burst Strike, an advanced form of Blink Strike that allows the user to travel further and more swiftly before unleashing a powerful blow on your enemies. This skill opens up many opportunities for your fighter to close gaps and eliminate enemies quickly. This skill is important to have in your arsenal because the fighter vocation doesn't offer many options for range attacks. You'll find Burst Strike incredibly useful when you target enemy weak points and when you're attacking enemies who are trying to run away or reposition. It can also be used as a defensive skill to help you dodge large AoE attacks from bosses, for example, since you can just pick a direction and get out of harm's way fast. Cloudward Slash is an advanced form of Airward Slash that reaches greater heights and inflicts greater harm. You'll run into plenty of flying enemies in Dragons Dogma 2, and honestly, without Cloudward Slash, you'll feel pretty much useless in those situations and will most likely have to rely on your pawns to clear flying enemies for you, which isn't the most ideal situation since flying enemies can be very annoying and they can interrupt you when you're fighting against bosses, for example. This skill lets you get high enough to help you deal damage to a boss's head, and this skill also has enough power to knock down foes, which opens up more opportunities for critical strikes. Vengeful Slash is one of my favorite fighter skills to use. This skill is an advanced version of Counter Slash that consumes less stamina while defending and affords greater range when counterattacking. With the fighter class, you have access to some great defensive skills to help increase your survivability, but what's great about Vengeful Slash is the fact that it automatically parries enemy attacks and then immediately follows up with a powerful slash that's capable of killing multiple enemies at once, or even knocking down large bosses. This skill makes it a bit easier to parry attacks and doesn't consume much stamina at all, which is great considering it gives you more time to predict enemy attacks and then counter even the toughest enemies in the game. In most situations too, this skill provides a guaranteed critical strike, which is great against enemies with tough skin or maybe a larger health pool. Gouging Skewer is the last skill on this build, and it's easily one of your best skills to use against larger enemies. Gouging Skewer is an advanced version of Gouging Skewer, which delivers more strikes and is usable in midair. The terrain in Dragons Dogma 2 was designed so you can tackle boss fights from multiple different angles or positions. My favorite thing about this skill is the fact that you can stab bosses as soon as you latch onto them and then repeatedly attack after, which deals some serious damage to enemy posture, which in most cases will stagger them or even knock them down completely. Altogether, this combination of skills provides many perks for your fighter. You have Burst Strike for range, Cloudward Slash for flying enemies, Vengeful Slash for extra defense with a powerful counterattack, and then Gouging Skewer to help you destroy enemy weak points. For starting weapons and armor, your best option is to stop by Bjorn's Armory in Vernworth and purchase the Iron Helm and Guardian Plate armor set. In terms of fighter weapons, the Vermundian brand is easily the best early game sword, while the Featherlight Pelta is the best shield to start with. As you level up and get closer to endgame, you'll naturally find more powerful gear at different vendors on the map. My character is currently wearing the Stygian Omen armor, which can only be purchased from the Dragon Forged NPC located at the Bay Wayside Shrine. You need 70 Worm's Life crystals to purchase this chest piece, which offers incredible defense for your character, but most importantly, looks really cool. The Vigilant Greaves are purchasable from any vendor during New Game Plus and complements the chest armor really well. For my main sword, I'm using the Dragons Dogma blade, which is currently the strongest weapon for the fighter class. This powerful sword can only be purchased with Worm's Life crystals from the Dragon Forged NPC at the Bay Wayside Shrine. This sword actually gets increasingly more powerful as you continuously attack enemies without being attacked. So as long as you're careful and make smart plays, you'll be able to do some serious damage to bosses. I'm also using the best shield in the game, the Dragon's Aegis, which is also purchased from the Dragon Forged in New Game Plus. My current gear is the best gear in the game for the fighter and should definitely be the gear you work towards as you progress through the game and get to New Game Plus. For augments, I'm using Metal, which augments your physical defense, Verve, which augments your strength, Athleticism, which reduces stamina costs while dashing, Thu, which enables you to carry additional weight, Diligence, which hastens recovery speed when downed or crawling, and lastly, Poise, which reduces the stamina consumed when struggling in a foe's grip. You could also use Vitality from the Warrior class, which increases your maximum health, and Dominance, which increases your knockdown power. You also have Exaltation from the Mage vocation, which increases your stamina recovery speed, and Veracity from the Mystic Archer vocation, which lets you recover a small amount of stamina every time you defeat an enemy. For rings, I'm using the Ring of Momentum, which moderately boosts maximum stamina, and the Ring of Quickening, which boosts stamina recovery speed. You could also use the Ring of Grit, which reduces stamina expended when blocking an enemy attack with a shield, or even the Ring of Requital, which temporarily boosts strength after a successful deflect. You have many options when it comes to rings. You can even increase your weight capacity or increase your resistance to certain status effects, for example. The choice is yours at the end of the day, and it's all going to depend on your preferred playstyle. For pawn synergy, your best bet is to add members to your party that can offer support and deal damage from range in this case. Adding 1 or 2 mages to your group offers extra sources for your character to be healed, buffed, and cleansed from certain status effects. Mages also provide exceptional cover fire thanks to some of their ranged damage spells. It may also be a good idea to add an archer or a sorcerer to your group for even more range capabilities, or even a warrior to help you in the front lines. Many different options here, but I think you should at least include 2 pawns with range capabilities to help you with flying enemies. This concludes the ultimate fighter build guide for Dragons Dogma 2. Thank you all so much for watching and sticking around until the end of the video. Did you miss my last Dragons Dogma 2 build guides? I uploaded the best Thief and Mystic Spearhand builds, so I highly recommend checking those out whenever you're ready to change vocations. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more Dragons Dogma 2 builds coming soon, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe for more.